The eyes of the entire world are focused on a single point of light on the global stage as the grandest spectacle in sports history begins to unfold before our eyes. There is a specific kind of electricity that fills the air when history is being made, a palpable tension that stretches across continents and brings millions of people together in anticipation of a shared moment. Before the very first whistle blows, before the athletes step onto the pristine grass to battle for the ultimate glory, a different kind of magic takes over the stadium. It is the magic of music, theater, and pure, unadulterated star power designed to signal that the grandest tournament on Earth has finally arrived. This year, the scale of the celebration is completely unprecedented, breaking all traditional boundaries and setting a brand new standard for how the world welcomes its favorite game. The journey we are about to embark on is filled with unexpected accommodations, stunning visual transformations, and deeply emotional stories that connect distant corners of the globe. It is a story that brings together the glitz of Hollywood, the raw passion of international stadium sports, and the deeply personal journeys of individual creators who found themselves thrust into the center of a global spotlight. To make sure you never miss out on these exclusive breakdowns of the biggest events shaping global entertainment and pop culture, take a quick moment right now to hit the subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you can stay updated with everything we bring to your screen. The scale of this opening sequence is so massive that it cannot be contained within a single stadium or even a single country, as three distinct nations prepare to showcase their unique identities on a combined continental stage. Each host city has been tasked with creating an unforgettable atmosphere, building an escalating wave of excitement that sweeps across North America and sets the tone for a grueling and historic competition. As the world tunes in, the narrative begins to shift from the clinical statistics of the upcoming matches to the vibrant living art that serves as the gateway to the tournament. We are witnessing a cultural convergence where the lines between high fashion, popular music, and public life blur completely, creating a modern tapestry that will be remembered for decades to come. The build-up to this opening night has been months in the making, marked by intense speculation, creative secrecy, and a growing sense of wonder regarding how the organizers would manage to top everything that has come before. The atmosphere outside the venue in the hours leading up to the performance was nothing short of chaotic, with fans from every imaginable background gathering to witness the dawn of a new sporting era. The sheer diversity of the crowd reflected the global nature of the event itself, creating a melting pot of languages, colors, and shared enthusiasm that served as the perfect prelude to the main attraction. Within the walls of the massive arena, the technical crews worked tirelessly to ensure that every light, every speaker, and every camera angle was perfectly aligned to capture a moment that would be beamed instantly to billions of screens across the planet. The pressure was immense, not just for the technical staff, but for the performers who knew that their every movement would be scrutinized by an incredibly vast audience. It is within this high-stakes environment that a true pop icon stepped forward to reclaim her place at the absolute pinnacle of global entertainment, bringing a renewed sense of energy and a dramatic personal transformation to the stage. This performance was never going to be just another routine concert stop. It was a carefully calculated statement of artistic maturity and a celebration of a long, illustrious career that has continuously evolved under the watchful eye of the public. The artist in question has spent nearly 2 decades navigating the complex waters of fame, transitioning from a quirky hitmaker into a seasoned global phenomenon capable of commanding the largest stages in existence. Her return to this level of massive public performance comes at a fascinating time in her life, a period defined by significant shifts in her creative output and a high-profile personal life that has kept commentators talking for months. The choices made for this specific evening, from the music selected to the intricate details of the wardrobe, were filled with subtle meanings and deliberate nods to the location of the event, grounding the massive global broadcast in the specific cultural soil of California. The dress itself became an instant talking point, a brilliant creation that seemed to capture the very essence of the city around it while maintaining an avant-garde edge that demanded attention from the moment the lights came up. Designed by one of the most prominent names in modern fashion, the garment was a masterclass in theatrical style, utilizing unique materials that caught the stadium lights in a way that resembled long, shimmering strands of metallic holiday tinsel. This was not a random choice but a brilliant visual tribute to the historical legacy of the entertainment capital, a glittering nod to the legendary concept of Tinseltown that has defined the cultural output of Los Angeles for over a century. The exaggerated waistline and the floor-length silhouette created an imposing, almost statuesque presence on the stage, ensuring that the performer looked every bit the global superstar required to anchor an event of this magnitude. As she stood before the cheering crowds, the costume served as a visual bridge between the classic glamour of old Hollywood and the futuristic, high-energy environment of a modern stadium production. The music chosen for this monumental occasion carried its own weight, drawing from a recent body of work that represents a deeply personal era of artistic expression for the singer. The track, filled with themes of discovery and resilience, provided the perfect sonic backdrop for an evening dedicated to the pursuit of greatness and the celebration of human achievement. But the true heart of this opening segment lies not just in the famous face under the spotlight or the brilliant designs of her wardrobe, but in a hidden connection that traces its roots halfway across the world to a quiet country in Northern Europe. Long before the stage was built or the stadium gates were open to the public, a quiet piece of audio was recorded in a completely different setting, a simple vocal track that would lay the foundation for the massive spectacle unfolding tonight. It is a story of a young voice preserved through time that somehow found its way into the hands of one of the biggest names in the music industry, sparking a creative chain reaction that would culminate in a live performance watched by millions. The contrast between that quiet, intimate beginning and the roaring reality of a packed stadium forms the emotional core of this unfolding narrative, reminding us that even the largest global events are ultimately built on small, deeply human moments of inspiration. As the performance began to take shape, the audience was left wondering how these disparate elements would come together, how a global pop anthem would blend with the innocent sounds of a past recording, and what surprises still awaited them in the segments to come. The anticipation was palpable as the first notes echoed through the cavernous structure of the arena, signaling that wait was finally over and the journey had truly begun. The roaring crowd inside the majestic SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles was plunged into a state of pure euphoria as Katy Perry officially took command of the legendary stage, unleashing a wave of sonic energy that reverberated far beyond the stadium walls. This momentous Friday night marked the official commencement of the 2026 World Cup, an event that had already captured the imagination of billions around the globe, but the atmosphere inside this particular venue was utterly electric. Positioned at the very epicenter of global entertainment, Katy Perry delivered a high-octane performance that perfectly matched the gravity of the occasion, solidifying her status as a master of the grand stage. Her choice of attire for this monumental evening was nothing short of a sartorial triumph, as she graced the field wearing an exquisite silver Stella McCartney ready-to-wear dress from the highly anticipated Fall/Winter 2026 collection. The floor-length garment was a visual marvel, featuring a dramatically exaggerated waistline and meticulously constructed from what appeared to be endless shimmering strands of metallic tinsel. This choice of material was far from accidental, serving as a brilliant and stylish nod to Tinseltown itself, the historic home of this year's opening American festivities. Under the blazing stadium lights, the dress glistened like a galaxy of stars, catching every movement of the pop icon as she launched into a powerful rendition of her hit song titled Wonder, a standout track from her celebrated 2024 studio album. 143. The performance immediately established a high benchmark for the rest of the tournament, blending cutting-edge fashion with the infectious pop energy that has defined Perry's illustrious career for nearly 2 decades. Yet, as spectacular as the solo performance was, the true depth of the evening began to reveal itself through the deliberate creative choices the pop star made before she even stepped foot onto the grass. Katy Perry chose this unparalleled worldwide stage to share her spotlight with an incredibly special guest, turning a massive commercial event into a deeply touching human story that resonated with everyone watching. The day before she took to the stage to captivate the world, Perry had dropped a massive hint about what was to come by sharing an emotional TikTok video that introduced her global fanbase to a 10-year-old boy named Tius, who had traveled all the way from Norway. Alongside the video clip, which quickly went viral across multiple social media platforms, Perry wrote a heartfelt message explaining that the beautiful, innocent little voice the audience was hearing in the background belonged entirely to young Tius. The backstory behind this unique musical collaboration is a fascinating testament to how art can bridge vast distances and connect people across generations and oceans. According to Perry's own explanation, Tius had originally recorded his vocal part for the song Wonder Way back in 2021 when he was just a 5-year-old child singing with pure unforced innocence. It wasn't until 2 years later, in 2023, that Katy Perry accidentally stumbled upon this hauntingly beautiful vocal recording, and she was instantly struck by a profound wave of artistic inspiration. The young Norwegian boy's voice touched something deep within her, prompting her to sit down and write the main verses for Wonder around his original recording, eventually deciding that the track absolutely had to be included on her 6th studio album. Fast forward to the present day, and Tius is now a bright 10-year-old boy who found himself boarding a transatlantic flight from the quiet landscapes of Norway to the bustling, star-studded metropolis of Los Angeles. He made this incredible journey for the sole purpose of standing side by side with one of the biggest pop stars on Earth. Singing their collaborative creation live at the opening ceremony of the World Cup in front of a stadium packed with tens of thousands of screaming fans and a global television audience numbering in the hundreds of millions. The sheer scale of the moment was breathtaking, as the contrast between the seasoned pop veteran in her shimmering tinsel dress and the young boy from Norway created an undeniable emotional tension that elevated the entire ceremony. This stunning duet was the undeniable crown jewel of a star-studded opening number that spared absolutely no expense in terms of production value and artistic diversity. The organizers of the tournament pulled out all the stops to ensure that this opening segment would be remembered as a historic cultural milestone, assembling a powerhouse lineup of international talent to share the stage. Joining Katy Perry in this massive musical celebration were other globally renowned artists, including the sensational South African singer Tyla and the Brazilian pop powerhouse Anitta, each bringing their own unique cultural flavor and immense star power to the field. This collective performance created a vibrant tapestry of sound and movement, perfectly reflecting the inclusive and international spirit of the World Cup itself. However, the grandeur of this specific performance in Los Angeles was actually just one piece of a much larger, continent-wide celebration that marked a historic first for the tournament's format. The United States introduction served as one of 3 distinct opening ceremonies organized by the trio of host countries, each designed to showcase the unique heritage and musical prowess of their respective nations. Just the day before Perry took Los Angeles by storm, the legendary Colombian superstar Shakira had headlined a massive, rhythm-infused opening ceremony in Mexico City on Thursday night, setting a fiercely high standard for the festivities. Meanwhile, up north, the Canadian contingent launched their own spectacular celebration on Friday afternoon, featuring iconic performances from alternative rock legend Alanis Morissette and the smooth-voiced crooner Michael Bublé, alongside a host of other national talents. This multi-city, multi-national approach turned the entire continent into a massive stage, with each country contributing its most beloved musical ambassadors to welcome the world. While Katy Perry was proudly performing on behalf of the United States, her presence at the center of this continental event carried a fascinating set of personal connections that extended directly across the northern border. In recent months, the California native has found her personal life thrust into a very different kind of spotlight following her highly publicized relationship with the former Canadian Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau. The couple officially went public with their romance back in December, a revelation that sent shockwaves through both the entertainment industry and the world of international public figures. Since entering into this high-profile relationship, observers have noted a fascinating evolution in Perry's public persona and aesthetic choices. Her wardrobe, which was once defined by the whimsical, ultra-colorful, and cartoonish designs of her iconic teenage dream era, has become decidedly more subdued, elegant, and sophisticated. This stylistic shift has been particularly noticeable during her appearances at serious public events, where she has consistently opted for tailored silhouettes and understated elegance. However, for her monumental on-stage performance on Friday night, Perry proved that she had not lost an ounce of her classic pop star instincts, temporarily shelving her newly refined aesthetic to bring back the bold, theatrical glamour that made her a global phenomenon in the first place. The dazzling Stella McCartney dress was the perfect vehicle for this triumphant return to form, allowing her to command the stadium with the exact same larger-than-life energy that defined her early career. The contrast between her private evolution and her public performance added an extra layer of intrigue to an evening that was already overflowing with subplots and major talking points. Just days before the World Cup performance, the couple had made their highly anticipated red carpet debut, walking side by side at the prestigious Tribeca Film Festival for the world premiere of Perry's new concert movie, Katy Perry. The Lifetime's tour, Live from Paris. During that high-profile appearance, the pair, who have now been together for nearly a full year, showed absolutely no shyness in front of the flashing cameras of the international press. They openly displayed an abundance of affection, sharing warm embraces and tender moments throughout the screening of the film, proving to the world that their bond is stronger than ever. As the opening ceremony in Los Angeles drew to a close, leaving the audience breathless, the focus naturally began to shift toward the sporting drama that was about to unfold on the very same pitch. With the music fading and the athletes preparing to take center stage, fans could not help but wonder which international teams this famous California native would choose to root for as the grueling tournament progresses over the coming weeks. The echoing cheers from the opening ceremony still lingered in the crisp night air as the reality of this historic achievement began to truly sink into the hearts of everyone who witnessed it. What took place on the pitch of the stadium was far more than a simple musical introduction. It was a profound cultural milestone that set the stage for a new era of global unity and creative expression. By bringing together a monumental cast of international talent, the ceremony managed to perfectly encapsulate the very essence of the tournament, showing that music and sports possess an unparalleled power to bridge structural divides. This grand opening set a remarkably vibrant and inclusive tone for the weeks of intense competition ahead, proving that the world can find a harmonious rhythm even amidst the most fierce athletic rivalries. The sheer significance of this moment lies in its unique ability to transform a massive, commercial sporting event into a deeply personal narrative that resonated with ordinary people watching from every corner of the planet. At the center of this triumph was the incredible journey of young Tius, whose transition from a quiet room in Norway to the largest stage in the world will undoubtedly go down as one of the most heartwarming stories in the history of modern entertainment. For a 10-year-old child to maintain his composure and deliver a flawless vocal performance alongside a seasoned global icon requires a level of courage and natural talent that is exceedingly rare. His journey serves as a powerful reminder to aspiring young artists everywhere that true inspiration knows no geographic boundaries, and that a single moment of pure creativity can completely alter the course of a human life. The fact that Katy Perry chose to share this unparalleled platform with him speaks volumes about her ongoing dedication to fostering new talent and honoring the genuine roots of her artistic inspiration. It highlights a side of the pop star that the public rarely gets to see behind the flashing lights of the red carpets and the polished production of her stadium tours. This collaboration breathed a sense of raw, authentic humanity into an event that could have easily felt overly corporate, grounding the massive global broadcast in a shared story of artistic discovery and mutual respect. Beyond the individual stories of the performers, the success of the multi-city opening ceremony format marks a massive triumph for the organizers who took an unprecedented logistical gamble. Managing 3 separate high-profile opening ceremonies across 3 different nations within a window of barely 24 hours was a technical and creative challenge of staggering proportions. The seamless transition from Shakira's rhythm-heavy performance in Mexico City to the nostalgic, soul-stirring sets of Alanis Morissette and Michael Bublé in Canada, culminating in Perry's high-fashion pop spectacular in Los Angeles, demonstrated a brilliant level of international cooperation. This collaborative approach mirrored the structure of the tournament itself, offering a beautiful preview of how 3 diverse nations can unite to host a truly global celebration. Each city managed to infuse its segment with a distinct local flavor while maintaining a cohesive narrative thread that kept the global audience utterly captivated from start to finish. The brilliant creative choices made for the American segment, particularly the stunning Stella McCartney dress, will undoubtedly be analyzed and celebrated by fashion and culture commentators for years to come. By transforming a simple material like tinsel into a high-fashion masterpiece, the production team managed to pay a sophisticated tribute to the rich cultural history of Los Angeles without relying on tired clichés. This brilliant fusion of old-school Hollywood glamour and modern athletic energy perfectly captured the unique identity of the host city, cementing its status as the definitive capital of global entertainment. For Katy Perry herself, this performance represents a spectacular capstone to an extraordinary year of personal and professional transformation that has kept her at the absolute forefront of public consciousness. Navigating the intense scrutiny that comes with a high-profile international relationship while simultaneously launching a major concert movie and preparing for a global stadium performance would overwhelm even the most experienced artists. Yet, she has managed to handle this intense pressure with an admirable level of grace, poise, and artistic integrity, demonstrating an incredible capacity for reinvention. Her relationship with Justin Trudeau continues to fascinate the public, offering a compelling narrative of two incredibly influential individuals from entirely different worlds, finding common ground and supporting one another under the watchful eye of the global media. The genuine warmth and affection they displayed during their recent red carpet appearance at the Tribeca Film Festival served to humanize them in the eyes of millions, showing that behind the public personas lies a deeply supportive partnership. This personal happiness has clearly infused Perry's creative work with a renewed sense of confidence and purpose, allowing her to step onto the world stage with a level of commanding authority that was impossible to ignore. As the focus of the world now shifts entirely from the glamour of the stage to the intense drama of the athletic competition, the questions surrounding Perry's personal allegiances add a playful layer of intrigue to the tournament. With her deep, lifelong roots in California and her significant personal ties to Canada, she finds herself in a uniquely charming position as a fan, with multiple teams close to her heart to root for throughout the grueling matches. This dual connection embodies the very spirit of this historic tri-host tournament, where traditional boundaries are blurred in favor of a larger shared celebration of community and human excellence. The games ahead will undoubtedly bring their own share of unpredictable drama, heartbreaking defeats, and historic triumphs on the pitch, but the memory of this opening night will remain firmly etched in the cultural zeitgeist. It set a standard of artistic excellence and emotional depth that will be incredibly difficult for future tournaments to match, leaving an indelible mark on the history of international sports entertainment. The voices of Katy Perry and young Tius, echoing together through the structural marvel of the stadium, provided the perfect anthem for a world looking to celebrate hope, resilience, and the beautiful power of human connection. As the tournament officially gets underway, the global audience is left with a profound sense of gratitude for a spectacle that reminded us all of the magic that happens when the world comes together as one.